So anyhow, I was watching this video by Simon Sinek that I sent to you. Did I send it to you as well? Called Start With Why. Did you ever watch that?
Yes.
Yeah. It's an old school TED Talk, but really good. And it goes in there and talks about how the best companies start with why they do what they do. And then, oh, by the way, this is what we do, right? So there's why, and then how, and then what. Most people go, well, I do heating and air conditioning and plumbing, and it's like, well, that's boring. I can't really get on board with that. I mean, guys, honestly, it is a little bit boring what we do. I mean, it's not like we're just not in the vanity business, you know. So anyhow, I was really thinking about why we do what we do, and why we really do it is pure motive service. We're all about that, and I found that the people in the company that aren't about the pure motive service don't make it, right? They don't. So if I were to read that and say, if you guys were all about safety, health, quality, reliability, customer service, customized solutions, and honesty, you would be successful here. That's what we do. But we never tell customers we're about that. We just say we do plumbing and heating. And so I was thinking of a story, and I might have told you this one about our aunt. Ever tell you? I said that probably the other day. So I was thinking of a story, but I wanted to put it on video so that we can show it to customers, show it to people, show it to new potential employees, and say, this is why we do what we do. And if you're about that and you like it, you'll be successful here. And if you're not about that, you won't be. So, you know, be honest, watch this video and tell me what you like. So years ago, I was broke in my early 20s. I lived with our aunt. Remember that? Those were some rough years. But anyhow, so I just got an HVAC, and she had an old Lennox heat pump. I mean, it was really like rusty and crappy. But you know, I wasn't like pushing like a new system on her. I mean, I don't even think I had the confidence to size it yet at that point. And so anyhow, I lived with her for a while. Everything was fine. We moved out, got married, had kids, started Paramount, and maybe like a year into Paramount, a year or two, she calls me and goes, I had a $900 electric bill last month. And I'm like, oh, I know what that is. That's your heat pump outside is broke, your heat strips kept your house warm for a month, and you got hammered on electric. So I was thinking, and she's like, I just need a new system. It's 25 years old now, or maybe it was even 30. And I was like, all right, okay. And I thought about it, and I knew her very well. I knew her lifestyle. I knew that she had a bunch of dogs in the house. I knew she wanted to keep her house clean in spite of that. I knew her kids had just left the house. I knew that she was planning on moving in a few years. I knew what type of job she had, what type of schedule she had. I knew everything that was important to her. She was a heart on the sleeve type of person, you know? And so I was like, all right, let me come up with 3 options. The option in the middle is the one I'm pretty sure she's gonna choose, right? It was like it was a mid-grade system. Still good, it was a Hyperion with like a 16 SEER heat pump and a new stat. It was good. And then I was like, well, maybe her financial situation's changed. You never know, she could have got a raise and is feeling like, I wanna buy something better. So I gave her an option on the higher end. And then I go, well, what if something's changed for the negative, and then this is, you know, part of empathy. This is just adding insult to injury in her life, right? $900 bill that I just had to pay, the system's out, and she's a nice person. She's not telling me about that. So I gave her a lower option. Still good, wasn't crap, it was like 13 SEER or whatever. She wouldn't have $900 bills. And I was pretty sure she picked the middle, and she did, and all was good. Well, that's what we're trying to do for our customers, but we don't know them yet. And so we're trying to get to know them to that point in an hour and a half, so that the solutions we provide for them are truly customized for them, right? Like I was able to do for her. I could do that for my mom. I could do that for all my family members. So how do you guys go in someone's house who where you can provide them with options that are that tailored to their lifestyle, well, you have to ask a lot of questions. And they might be a little guarded. What are you asking me all these questions for? But as long as we have pure motives behind it, we'll be able to get it, and the people will be ecstatic. And you guys have noticed, the more questions you ask and the more the people tell you about themselves, the better observations you have and the better options you're able to put together for them, and the happier they are. It's always the people that you never get to talk to. You just throw out a number or whatever, and then you find out that, oh man, they really wanted their upstairs to be cooler. We didn't talk about that though. Ugh. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of the why we do what we do here, is for that. And it should lead to benefits for you guys, happier customers, benefits for the customer, because they'll be happy, and then a benefit for us because we should be able to grow as word of mouth goes, that this is how these guys do things. We know that our competitors don't do that. They have like agenda to sell equipment. I don't blame it on them, right? If you go to train and you get trained by Trane, they're gonna say, sell the most expensive equipment, here's why it's awesome. Because Trane doesn't care if you make ductwork modifications. They don't care if you add a filter in, unless it's their $1,500 clean effects, right? So what we do is a lot harder than just going in and saying, here's the high-end equipment, it's the best. Here's the middle grade, it's the middle. Here's the low end, it's the low. We've had to study ductwork, filtration, different filters, different UV, mastic sealing, aero sealing, insulation, different equipment that will apply in different sizes. I mean, just ductless. And then you have to go to all those different places and get training and bring it all together, and then be able to ask the customers questions enough to pick which pieces and parts. So what we do is much more difficult than what the other guys do. So that's why we do what we do. It's more difficult, and I think you guys do a great job at it. But I wanted that video so that I could send it to people and they would go. Send it to new employees. And is this something you're going to like to do, or do you just want to go? Here's your stuff, pick it. Right? I don't really